Okay, so the pork scallopini dish, that was a good one. It was the first week I was working in Boston. Came walking out of the restaurant I was in, and typical of every chef, I was actually hungry. So walking down the street, and there's a queue outside this little restaurant called Carlos's. I went in there, had to queue for 10 minutes, and eventually got a seat. I saw this veal dish with vinegar sauce and cider vinegar, and I thought, oh, that's intriguing. Hadn't had it before. So ate it, loved it, thought it was fabulous. So through the years, I've kind of changed the meat. I've done it with veal, I've done it with chicken, and this one there with a pork tenderloin. So yeah, added some onions and peppers, and you could do it with wine. I'm going to do it with cider. I just find that the cider is that little bit better with the pork. And beautiful wee dish, start to finish, one pan, give it a go. Okay, so cinnamon French toast, okay? In Food for the Soul, we brought you pancakes with berries, maple syrup and all that. So just to change it up, we're going to do a little French toast, a little dish I've been doing for years, okay? So first thing you do is take some crusty sourdough or French baguette, anything. If you're using baguettes, just cut them on the bias, nice and long. You can just use a sliced pan, the thick toasty bread, whatever you have. And even bread that's actually starting to go a little bit stale, it's in its last day or two, ideal for this dish, okay? So take that, we set it aside. Next thing, we're going to get a few eggs. Now I'm using a large ovenware dish. You know, you can use a large bowl, anything at all with a large surface area, because you'll see whenever it gets to the point of dropping in the French toast, you want to just have a little bit of space, basically, okay? So give that a little whisk. And we're just going to knock on our pan because we want to get some heat into the pan. The one thing, whenever you drop the bread into the egg mix and then it goes into the pan, if the pan's too cold, it's going to stick. It's almost the same idea as a steak or meats or anything at all that you're going to put into a... You want to have the pan hot, okay? So next thing, in with the cinnamon. Now, generally, the rule of thumb with cinnamon is a little goes a long way. So this is one of the few dishes that I tend to just put a little bit more than the norm, I suppose, you know, because I do want to get that cinnamon flavor right, really prominent in the bread, okay? Now, you can make this mix a day before. It only takes a few minutes, but if you do make it and you use it and you keep it for, say, you're doing French toast on a Saturday and you want to do the same on a Sunday, just give it a whisk again every time, right before you drop every single slice. You want to have it whisked, okay? So that's that. Set that aside, and our pan is on. So next thing we're just going to take is a knob of butter, okay? And get that on and get it melting. Okay, so the butter is melted. And then just in with the bread, okay? Now, I've cut it just under an inch thick, okay? Again, what you want to have is a nice crispy outer shell of the bread, and then the inside just that nice moist interior, okay? So you don't want it to be overly dry. That's the one thing that I'll recommend whenever it comes to the thicker breads, is as opposed to the sliced pan in this one, you know, is it can be a little bit dry if the bread's too thin, okay? So straight in, like so. I'm just going to turn the heat down to a medium then, okay? So once that's on, I'm just going to take the cream, like so. About 350 mils of cream, a tiny little dash of icing sugar, and a capful of vanilla essence. You can use a fresh vanilla pod if you want. If you have vanilla, just use the full pod, okay? And turn that on high in the K-mix and just let it go till it's stiff. Okay, so once you get the cream to a stiff peak, just lift it up and just leave it there. And then we're going to go back to our French toast and give it a turn. And that's exactly what we're looking for there, okay? You're looking for that nice golden outer edge, okay? And then just move it around. You want to just make sure that you get a little bit of butter there into the next slice as well when it goes in there. So moving on then to our berries, okay? So some blueberries and blackberries. 5-6 per person is more than enough, you know. If you want more, it's fine. In with some raspberries then, and then just a few strawberries that we'll just cut in half. And again, you can use bananas, peaches, nectarines, whatever you have at home to use up, okay? So a tiny little dash of maple syrup to that. Now the reason I'm putting a little bit of maple syrup in this as well is sometimes, especially off season, the berries can be just a little bit sour, okay? So you know, use a teaspoon of sugar, or a teaspoon of honey, or a little bit of maple syrup, okay? Put it in there and just give it a little bit of a mix up, and it just takes that extra little bit of sourness out of them. And the other thing it does, just gives them a lovely wee glaze, okay? And that's that. And then in with the cream. Now the 350 mils will do about four or five, okay? And then push it through to get rid of any air pockets. Grab a plate. Okay, so on with the French toast. Dust with a little bit of ice and sugar, and then on with our berry compote, just like so, and then top of cream, and just because we're proper greedy, a nice decent portion of maple syrup. You can use honey, whatever you want. Maple syrup is the best for me. And there you have it, cinnamon French toast, fresh berries, maple syrup.